All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk a little bit about the Delphi case. Ron Logan, right? Everyone's talking about this new information. That supposedly was released, or new photos and everything of his house, a wreck, and you know, out of place. But I think he did have a woman that used to live with him, but she left him or something. Now, this whole thing, was he involved, right? I don't know, man. He could have been. Was he, did he know about it? Was he there but didn't do anything? Other people did it for him. I don't know. Almost like a Charlie Manson thing. It's possible. But I think if they would have had that much evidence on Ron Logan being involved in it, don't you think the authorities now would have came out and said he was part of it? He was the mastermind or whatever. He is passed away. So wouldn't they come out and say, well, he was, we did have evidence that he was part of it and the girls were at his house and that's where the murders occurred, yada, yada, yada. You would think. I mean, either that or Logan would have had to been a Mason or an Odin or someone high up or knew somebody high up for them to cover it up for him, right? Now, do I believe he could have done this by himself? Uh, I don't. That depends, right? We know this much: there was people out there in that area at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, right? The family was there looking. Actually, it was before then, and the search went on all night until midnight, and then it was called, and no bodies. You had people saying impossible. They searched that area behind the cemetery, and there was no girls there. No, something ain't right in that, right? But depending if the girls were there or not, the search team went out there, no girls. It was on the news uh, that night, 11 o'clock news, searching for kids out there. Could he have seen that? They called off the search, and that was his opportunity to place the bodies in the middle of the night in the dark. I don't know. A 70-some-year-old man. I don't know. I don't know. It's possible they weren't found until the next day at what, 11 o'clock or something like that, or noon. Is that enough time? Well, it is, but how did he do it? How did one man get two girls? I don't know if he can carry them kids down all that ravine and everything, and I don't know about that, man. I don't know. Sacrifice? Was he some kind of a demonic spiritual person within the community or something, or this organization? I don't know. I know this much. There was people trying to get his land, and it's possible somebody tried to do that and stage the whole thing. Uh, Now let's talk about the Ron Logan thing. Well, he wasn't there; he was somewhere else, and well, that's true. If you listen to all these stories, he was at the bar, he was at the pizza place, he was getting fish, he was yada yada yada. And what I think is, if it, I would think this much: If he had anything to do with it, all the time that has gone by, I think authorities would have came up by now and said Ron Logan was a part of it. Now he confessed to it. Now there's rumors coming out and letters that he confessed to it. But I think he was pissed. Right? I think he was just pissed. Why? Because he only had not much, he didn't have much time left to be on probation, and it was over with. I think I watched a video, and he said that he only had 4 weeks left of probation, and he was in the clear. He was in the clear. So when they picked him up because he lied about where he was, not because they had him on something to do with Delphi. Good God Almighty! If he was the killer, they picked him up, threw him in jail, and knew all this. Don't you think they would have said, "We got the killer"? It was Ron Logan. Hello, RC99. Don't you think he would have came out? The authorities would have came out and said that. They didn't. They picked him up on he broke his probation. He wasn't supposed to be around certain things, and he was. Now, as far as I know, I don't know if there was any evidence found at his house. I know they went to his house looking for the girls because they were in that area. I think the police even said at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, they even the family said they went to Ron Logan's to see if they seen the girls anywhere. Right? So I don't know. I don't know. You know, all this is coming out now. Uh, but what other evidence did they have? I don't know. The whole confession thing. I think he was probably pissed off because he had to do more time because he got wrapped up into it. The girls were killed on his property. He wasn't there when he was supposed to be there, and that he broke his probation, and he lied. Why? Because he only had four weeks left. A month, and he was completely done with it. Now, I'm not saying I don't know because I wasn't there. So, is it possible he had something to do with it? I don't think his voice. I don't think he's a voice guy, or at least what they're letting us hear. I don't think it's him. It sounds uh, the voice sounds too young. So I'm not saying he couldn't have been there. He couldn't have been the mastermind. That's possible. But for him to do it all by himself, you have to remember one of them girls was a hefty girl, right? And here's another thing. If he did belong to any kind of society or any club or gang, he might have had people go out there with four-wheelers or whatever. Did he have a four-wheeler? Was there horse footprints around? Someone said he had horses. In order to get Libby, I think was the bigger girl. I think they said she was close to 200 pounds. Do you think he was able to carry a 200-pound girl there? I don't know. Now, in his confession, he said he killed the girls with a box knife and did stuff and yada yada yada, uh, and had a struggle with one of the girls, and she hit him in the nose, and he started bleeding, and that's why he took the clothes. But no clothes were found at his house. He claimed he burned his clothes in a fire pit. Was that fire pit found? Did they go through that fire pit? and find any of the girls' materials burned, any clothes, objects, or anything? What did they find at his house that matched the murders? Nothing. His phone was there because he lives on the property. So it would have shown he was in the area. That's true. Even if he was in his house 200 feet away, it would have showed he was in that area. Now, the rest of this stuff, you know, I think somebody had it out for him or they knew something we didn't know. Right? Now, he could have been certain parts in this, or he could have been just an innocent, grumpy old man that knew too much or had a lot of property that somebody wanted. That's true too. Or he could have known something before the murders and he was running his mouth and someone knew that he knew and they tried to set him up. That's possible too. But here's the thing that is very upsetting to me. All this time has gone by. Ron Logan died a while ago. And you need to look towards your government and your justice system in Indiana. If these people actually on paper had Ron Logan as a killer and high suspect and was one of the people, then why didn't they come out in public after he passed away and say he was involved? The evidence we had showed that Ron Logan was involved. They never did. He made up an alibi before anyone knew the girls was missing, dead. Yeah, some are saying that. And the only reason he made up an alibi because he knew if the police found out he wasn't at home, he broke his probation. And I think he was worried about that throughout the whole thing. Even in his interviews on camera, that, and he even said that he wasn't there. At the time of the murders, he wasn't there. He was getting fish. But he really wasn't getting fish. They said that he was in a bar drinking and eating pizza. And then that story changed. Right? So he was around and he had a whole bunch of guns. Which I don't know if he was supposed to be around weapons on his probation or whatever. And they went to his house right away. I think Mike Patty's friend or one of them, that's someone that he grew up with, stopped at Ron Logan's to see if he seen the kids or if they were around there or anything. So the whole thing is kind of weird. But if this much time has gone by and on paper the police actually had Ron Logan and he was the person, shame on them for not telling, he was involved in it. I think he's way too old to pull it off himself. He might have been there waiting on the other side of the river and might have just been a part of some sickos. Maybe, and he was there and knew what happened, but he didn't do it. That's possible, but I think it was. You have to answer me this: who's the guy on the bridge? Who's the voice guy? The people that were there, that claim they were there. The government claims, the state. Who are them dudes? If that's someone totally different, well, then you have other people involved. So I'm not saying Ron Logan ain't involved. I'm saying there ain't enough information out there for us to actually go and say he was one of them. Other than the information that just came out uh, recently, I don't know. I don't know. And let me tell you this much. What kind of an idiot would stick around there if he was the murderer? You think he would have boot scoot boogied out of there right away. But that also would have gave him up, right? Uh-oh, where'd Logan go? He's gone. Right? They were killed on his property. Uh, on camera, does he look guilty to me? Not really. It looks like it's just an old man that people didn't like. And he did. He even said that on camera, right? Where the girls were killed was his backyard. He owned all. He said he not very many people have a backyard like mine, as big as it is. He had a lot of property. Do you think he's that dumb if he would have done the murders to leave the girls on his property so they come right to his door? I don't know. That seems kind of crazy, right? That seems like. Do you really think he would have planted them on his own property? Was he that crazy? Was he that demonic? Was he that sick in the head? Was he part? Did he know Keegan Klein and his dad? Did he know these other guys? Right? We don't know. Yeah, the voice sounds younger, but we don't know if this government is playing games with us. RC99. They're allowed to lie. So this whole thing might be a fabrication because they're still looking for the killers. The voice guy might not really be the voice. It might be the voice, but it was put through filters and everything to sound different. We don't know. I mean, this is crazy. This is going on for way too long. But the people that played a role in this case of Delphi, a couple of them were pedos, known pedos and crazies. You had Keegan and you had Brian James Chadwell. Both sickos. And you had a couple other people with past that was very violent towards women and kids. I think there was many about. I don't know if to be honest, I don't know if Ron Logan was involved. Some of the evidence says, well, he was there, right? Some of the evidence says no. And he got himself into trouble because he lied about where he was because he was on probation, or whether he might not have been even be allowed to leave the property on probation, and he did. That could have been broken, but I think the whole thing was because he was so close to getting off probation, and he did say if them girls weren't found on his property, he wouldn't be where he's at right now. But being that they were found on his property, he had to explain why he wasn't there when he was on probation and supposed to be there, and why all the weapons in his house. I think he was a minor player. They let him abuse Abby in exchange for helping them out. I don't know. Maybe RC99. You might be right. You might be right. Maybe we know this much. It's a ring. There was more involved. More knew about it than what they claimed. Right. So that makes sense to me that there was many involved. Me personally, I don't think Ron Logan can pull it off by himself. He could, but he would need time. Did he have enough time from midnight till the next day to plant the girls by himself? Yes. If that's all he had to do and the girls were already dead, I don't know. If he had the girls held up at his house, the police and the family's friend went to Ron Logan's to check if he seen anything. He said no, he didn't see anything. Don't you think the girls would have been yelling and screaming if they were there? I don't think. But plus, did they find any kind of evidence that the girls were killed in his house? I mean, this stuff is just coming out. Yeah, that's what we were thinking too. The whole thing. And why did a lot of these people get their? Why did a lot of people get their phones taken and devices taken? Some of these YouTubers were charged with things, but pled to lesser things or something like that. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, if you ask me. The whole witchery thing, the Odins, the Marks, we're starting to believe it's just what churches did they go to or belong to? What kind of magic were they doing? What kind of spell did they put on everybody to create Delphi into a whirlwind? Right? I do believe they did have some witches and warlocks and stuff down there doing. I mean, how did it get wrapped up into this madness? How do you have investigators from other states calling Delphi saying that their investigation led back to Delphiers, to somebody in Delphi? That's crazy too. Yeah, this stuff is crazy. Witches, warlocks, Odins, Vandaliers, Chandeliers, Lokis, Locky boxes. This is just crazy. Too crazy for me. It's no wonder our country is in a hole. My opinion, could he played a role in it? Yes. But him doing it himself would have been a very hard task. He would have had to keep the girls alive. He would have had to known exactly when the search was called off. He would have had to known or given the okay. The coast is clear. Go ahead and plant the bodies there. He would have had to walk them or got them there in the middle of the night in darkness, flashlights, uh, and then killed them right there. But see, that don't explain how at 5 o'clock the phone was plugged in. See, it's not adding up. Because why? Because the search team was there. They swore up and down, some of them on oath, that the girls weren't there. They searched that area. That was impossible. There's no way. There was dogs out there. There was people all over. They searched that whole area. No bodies. No dog hits. Nothing. The next day they go back, so it ain't adding up. Why? Well, somebody used the phone at 5 o'clock. Now, whether it was there at the crime scene, somebody plugged something into the phone at 5 o'clock, and then at 10:30 at night unplugged it. So wait, if there was a search and this was going on, well, then someone found the bodies and someone found the phone. Someone had the phone. And if someone had the phone, well, then they can manipulate anything they wanted on the phone. Did they have enough time? Oh, yeah, because the phone wasn't found until 11 o'clock the next day. Depending on what time zone you're in, it could have been 12 o'clock, 10 o'clock, depending on where you live. Is that enough time to manipulate, edit, put back on phone or whatever? Yeah, sure. These YouTube creators do hour-long videos within 15 minutes. Edit, special effects, and everything. Some 10 minutes. They're done. So, is it possible? Oh, heck yeah. Too many questions unanswered. Too many players in the game for it not to be just a one-man go. Many had to know in that area what was going on, the people that lived in that area, what they were into. And you're telling me there was only one bar in that town, and that's where everyone went, and none of these dudes knew each other? Come on. Come on. I don't know why they didn't destroy the phone. Well, exactly what kind of a killer does that? A sicko that has one thing on his mind. Either he's trying to set people up, or he wants the world to see that you can't catch him. He's a sicko. You're right. Who would have left the phone? Nobody in their right mind. They would have shut it off and destroyed it probably, or dispensed of it way, 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 way away from the crime scene to make it look like something else happened. That wasn't the case. This was all left there for the world to see for a reason. It was very sick, disturbing. Very sick and disturbing. There was no other reason to leave the phone there. The killer knew she had a phone. How do you not have two young girls in custody and you're a sicko and you don't know they have a phone? You undressed them. You know dang well there was a phone. How did she hide everyone? She hid the phone. She didn't hide nothing. If she was being held hostage, whoever was holding her hostage knew exactly what was on them two girls. Especially if he was some sicko and undressing them and doing stuff. They didn't hide nothing. This sick group of people wanted the world. They're playing games. They're effing zodiacs. They're zodiacs because no one would have left the phone. In their right mind, they would have got rid of it. Why? Because that would have left evidence that they were communicating with people they shouldn't have been. So if this was some kind of a planned thing by somebody, and the key mission was to get the phone from the girls, they failed on that one. Idiots. They failed. Right? They killed the girls but forgot the evidence. Right? Of who actually was talking to them, who actually, how many times the phone was reset. Whose phone really was it? Was it even the girl's phone or someone else's phone that gave them that phone that was someone else's at one time? We don't know. But there's a lot of questions that aren't answered. And anybody with a right mind that wanted to pull off a murder and go unscathed would not have left a phone. I'm sorry. They just wouldn't have left a phone there for the whole world to see. And all their connections and information of if there was any illegal stuff going on or any evidence, it was all on the phone. And the phone would be destroyed, ran through a shredder, pummeled with a sludge hammer, just all evidence gone. And but that ain't what they did. We're dealing with some sickos. Real sickos. My opinion. My opinion. Let's see what RC99 is saying. Indiana Packer plant was allegedly a hub for trafficking. Well, there was 3 or 4 of them that were working there that uh, had records. You had the Sullivans that were there. They had a record of doing stuff like that. You had many people that were around in that area, and it probably was a ring, a bunch of them. Debbie thought, who's this? Charlie or Cholo Ramirez? It's Cholo Ramirez. My God, what are the Cholos doing in? This must be huger than what I thought. Well, let's see what they got to say. Debbie Fox was communicating with Keaton Klein and helping him to arrange the meeting up on the bridge. Debbie Fox? What kind of person are you, Cholo? Why would Debbie Fox be doing that? I'm timing on. Go on, you got 5 seconds to explain yourself. But I don't think so. This is why do they send these people to do nothing but what do you know that I don't know? My God, this whole time Cholo Ramirez has been flying under the radar and knowing things that I don't know about this case, which is unbelievable if you ask me. I'm timing her out. I'm going to time you out. Debbie Fox is a good woman. I'm going to put her in. I'm going to Miss Chomo Ramirez. Miss Chomo Ramirez, please. I don't know why would somebody say something like that without some kind of evidence. Don't you think the government would have came to me and said, Johnny, one of your mods is part of all this stuff, and you are next. She was going to kidnap you and turn you into her little cholo and sell you to the black market to sleep with old ladies and stuff and have their way with you. Don't you think the government would have came out and told me that? Probably not, because I'm worth quadrillions. You got dyslexia bad. How dare this? How dare do I have this? So Miss Fox ain't part of it. Is that what you're saying, Miss Cholo Ramirez? Dixon, I don't have dyslexia. That's an eating disorder, ain't it? I think it's an eating disorder. I eat just fine. Now, where were we? Yes. So there's a lot of people. That's anorexia. What's dyslexia? I think that's some kind of a reading thing or something, or comprehension thing. I'm not sure. I'll have to research that. But where were we? Yes. Ron Logan. So, what do I think? I think Ron Logan was possibly part of something even bigger, of a theft of property, wills, inheritance, so much stuff. And he might have been a sicko, but I don't know how he would have done this on his own. He would have had to have help. He would have had to have kept the girls quiet because the police went to his house numerous times and search teams to look on his property. Where were the girls when they were there? Is my question. Where's the evidence in the blood or whatever? Did the dogs hit on his house? Have the girls ever been to his house before? Did he know any of the family members? Is my thing. Because there's rumors that he stumbled onto something. And he was saying a long time ago that that family was involved in bad stuff, meth. He said that in his interview, that before the murders, that family was messed up into something bad. Maybe killer is Debbie Fox. Oh my God. Miss Ramirez, why would you say something like that? How could Miss Debbie Fox, a little 5'4", redheaded woman, done something like this by herself? There's impossible. Why do these trolls keep coming here? Because she's that kind of person. Oh my God. You trolls are not. How dare you? I need more coffee. Hold on before I time these people out. RC99 says the McCains. Well, there is talk about the McCains and everything, but boy, I'll tell you what. Was it that? Was it that he was involved in this ring and they were stealing from people and everything because investigations are showing that their criminal investigations from other states are leading back to this Delphi swang Tang OG club or gang or club or what do they call it, crew. Is that what they did? They stole from people, inheritance, retard. They did all kinds of probably crazy stuff. Hold on, I gotta get more coffee. All right, I had to get my coffee. Where was I? Miss Ramirez, why do you keep saying I already timed you out 2 times? Oh, Miss Fox is here. Hello, Miss Fox. Hello, Miss Fox. No, Miss Cholo Ramirez came in here claiming that I timed her out a couple. They're sending trolls from everywhere. They're sending these people to try and split up, to try and cause conversion within my train of thought or my chat or whatever. RC99's in the house. He says maybe they cook meth out there in the woods. Well, Ron Logan said that also on camera. Ron Logan said, God dang it, it's a place where they come and hang out and all them. They're cooking that meth shit out yonder. Well, he said that, right? He also said that that family was having trouble before the murders. I don't know. Maybe they were maybe it was two clubs that were battling. Maybe it was the Odins against the Masons or whatever. We don't know. But I can tell you this much. We won't stand for it in America no more, and I just can't have it around here. Yeah, nobody. Indiana has got beautiful lakes around it, beautiful country and everything up here, up in the Upper Peninsulas. And people love to go shopping into the garage sales and thrift stores. But I'll tell you what, with all this Odin crap and secret society crap and madness and clubs and gang, no one's going out. We're all suffering from this. It's put a damper on people's garage sales, thrift stores, and it's just you don't know what's out there. It's just gotten too crazy. Here's the thing: if Ron Logan was part of it, and his confession is real, well, bingo, bango. Now we definitely know that there was other people involved, and maybe the rumors were true. Ron Logan was a sicko, crazed madman, the wizard. We don't know. The great uh, supermind or mastermind or whatever, right? Who knows? The great Kumba, whatever they call him. Who knows? But I can tell you this much: you best get to the bottom of it because the world's gone crazy, right? I'm gonna quote old Blaine Katie out there. Okay, 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 okay. Grr. I'm gonna quote the great Ernie Shell. Come on, guys, don't tase me. I'm one of you. Well, that's just the way it goes. I don't know. Yeah, we're finding a lot of this crazy madness all over the place. These people stealing magic. We're finding them paying witches, sorcerers, all kinds of crazy stuff. Wanting to kidnap people and trap. That's how they're making their money. Hell, they made a living. How us tradesmen went out and worked with our hands, honest job each day or whatever job you had. And these people have taken sicko stuff and made money off of it. More than us. We're in the trade. We're honest, law-abiding citizens. Learn to trade, learn to work, whatever it was, flipping hamburgers, working on roofs, building homes, paving, whatever it was, changing oil, shoveling crap, and didn't break laws to do it or kill people. And these people made more than us. Why is it the law-abiding citizens that are always the fools? We're always the fools. Hell, we can't even. Yeah, it's just crazy. Miss Fox, anyways, little lady, I timed out Miss Chloe Ramirez. She was claiming all kinds of stuff, but I can't have them here causing this kind of stuff. So I timed her out. I was sticking up for you, but good God Almighty, I hope you realize that, and I don't get the the backlash of this madness. Now we're going to be digging deep into this David Parker Ray. We're also going to be digging deep into this Ron Logan thing, right? Me, myself, I don't think he was there. I think he got pissed because somebody wrecked his probation, which is himself. He only had 4 weeks left to do. And if he would have just kept his mouth shut, he would have been off probation and he wouldn't be where he was. Now, that don't mean he did the murders. I just think he was so pissed, wrote the letter just to piss people off and throw the government into a whirlwind because he was dying anyways. And just wanted to piss people off because they screwed his life up. Well, really, he screwed his own life up by breaking his probation. And if he had anything to do with the Delphi case, that's just the icing on the cake. And now we got to dig deep and dissect the 28 or 30 girls that were missing down there, or people that were killed? And were there any connections to the 4,000 bones that were found down south in Indiana, in that area, where they found the Hansons? They found the dead body of the Halloran, right? These people were killed by this serial group or whatever they are, club, whatever the hell it is. I have no idea. Or a serial killer, they're saying. Or it could have been a pack of serial killers. But this is just crazy. We got to get some kind of handle on this stuff. I mean, good God, if Ron Logan was the murderer, then should we be blaming anybody but the government or the justice system for not releasing that information? Yeah, we should be pissed at Ron Logan if he did have a hand in it. Yeah. I just think he was a grumpy old man pissed off at the world, and people kept doing shit on his property, and he was tired of it, right? He probably even called the authorities. He probably even put no trespassing signs out there. And he just got fed up with the shit. I would have too if they were out there cooking meth and doing all kinds of shit. Because if anything happened on his property, he could be sued. He could be sued. Yeah, these idiots today in 2025, oh, we're going to sue him for wrongful death. Why? Well, they were found on his property. He didn't have no gates. He didn't have no fence. He didn't have no cameras out there, no guard dogs. And this would have never happened if he would have had a fence. And that's how they are today. Everything is money. Right? And then you throw in the real estate rumors that were going around. A great real estate Kuralaba wanted his property, and they were trying to chase him off of the property. I mean, this is just, it's sad, but probably true. Probably true. If he didn't go along with their little connection down there, and he knew they were cooking meth and the prostitution and the pedo rings or whatever it was, and Ron Logan wasn't standing for it and was complaining about it, then yeah, I can see how they did this. Easily. I timed him out, Debbie. Did she come back? I told her to think about what she was saying, not my little Debbie. And she said, but Johnny, she don't love you. And I was like, what are you talking about? I'm her king. She's like, I can love you better and faster and longer. I was like, this is crazy. I timed her out. Now they're trying to drive a stake through the chat because any chat that is divided, it can't stand. Hey, what's everybody doing in this chat with these king's hats on? Number one. What's up with that, Debbie? What's going on with that? It's just ignorance. Have time for patience. No clue. Why is it saying number one? This is unbelievable. Who in the heck is hacking my chat now? I see RC91's got it, or RC99's got it. Same thing. What are these people doing? Can I have anything in this world? Huh? I know a lot of you are pissed out there because I cover cases and I don't buy people's crap. I've been attacked for many years by these people, poisoned, you name it. These people tried to kidnap me. We're going to sell me to some Tootsie Pop and turn me into a lollipop. It ain't happening, Jack. Bunch of crazies. Man, how many people are being paid to cover up this Delphi crap in the pedo ring. It's obvious there was many people involved. Many people involved. And it don't make sense that the phone was left there. Why? Because of the evidence on the phone. And no one is that dumb to kill 2 young girls and leave the evidence behind. And he knew, Bridge Guy knew he was being filmed, or was Bridge Guy just the scapegoat? And the murders and the madness was already done. And the phone was left there for a reason, for you to see it so you can think it was others when it wasn't. We don't know. But if you ask me, Delphi should be praying to the God above that it's not a crater in the ground. Literally, in Jesus' name, I pray for these people down there, because what a zoo. What a zoo. What a zoo. And they were camped out on my beloved court sidewalk, just messing everything up. Leaves on my beloved courtyard. These people were out there partying, drinking, throwing up all over, and couldn't have raked up the yard at least. No gratitude for the courts, the justice system, or the beloved courts, or government, or anything. Who knows? Who cares? I don't have time for patience. No, I know, Debbie. These people are trying anything, but it'll be crazy if one day you don't show up in chat and everyone's like, "Did you hear?" No. What? Your mod? No. What? She got picked up, killed 60 people, and you were next on her list. What? What? You're kidding me, right? No. They found 20 voodoo dolls of you. One of them, your penis, was missing. Oh my God. This has gone too far. Yeah, then I'll believe it. Then I will believe it. No, she's laughing her. Look at little Debbie Fox is laughing her butt up. I wouldn't doubt it if these people are sending me this death magic because I keep talking about Delphi, or I got it right. It's a big giant ring. There was many involved. Or the government's pissed at me. All I know is I can't crap without somebody sticking their hand up through the toilet and wiping my own butt. So I must have pissed on the wrong Cheerios down there. And I want to know, any of my family member passed away, I want their whole will and things. These people might have been stealing property and people's wills down there. Inheritance, everything. These idiots committed a crime and went on camera with the shit that they killed someone for and stole it from their house, and that was tracked to a Delphi person that lived in Delphi. Yeah, I imagine they probably were stealing anything they can get their hands on, or it was a crew. They were into all kinds of stuff. Drugs, sex, pedos, you name it. Extortion, blackmail. What's RC saying? RC, what's up with these crowns that you guys are wearing? I didn't give them no crowns. Why is this going on in my chat? The hell is running my chat? I'll tell you what, you better not have bought my channel, because Johnny Kramer ain't for sale in Jesus' name, amen. You better not be hacking my channel in Jesus' name, amen. All glory goes to God. Someone explain why they got these crowns, number 1 and number 2. I don't know. You ain't nothing here. You ain't the king here, I'll tell you that much. This is Johnny Kramer's show. People been riding on my coattails for too long. And we just begun in Delphi. And I could tell you, I'm going to quote the great sheriff of the district attorney. What is he? Superintendent or whatever. The great Doug Carter, right? You idiots want to know what we know. And one day you will. But unfortunately, that day is not today. And there you go. Shove that in your pipe and smoke it. How you like that? How you like that? You yell us. I'm not yelling at you. I'm real close to the microphone. You get emails about all these changes. I ain't get no emails about nothing. You know when the last time I checked my email? You think I live by email alone, woman? If you got something going on, you send me a video, right? If they're making changes, you make a video. When you go to open YouTube, the first thing that pops up once you put your password in, you go into your account, is a video. We made YouTube changes. Watch this video. Thank you. Right? You know, email me. Are you kidding me? One of my 70 hackers or stalkers probably already seen it and are using my face and probably my polio photos. Who knows what they're showing these? I don't know. This is crazy. I'm done with this stuff. I'm going to lock everything down. Crowns. Geez. Click on one of these crowns, Johnny. All right, I'll click on it, woman. If this is some kind of a scam, I'm going to believe that Cholo lady came in here and said you were the third ranking woman. I just clicked on it. Yeah, I clicked on it. It's showing top fans. Oh, Debbie's my number one fan. Well, I respect. You know, ever since, well, we'll talk about that on another video. This is a crime video. Oh, she is a number one fan. She's always here. She's always giddy. She's always there. RC99 second. He's always there, chowing out, lurking in the back, always watching. Well, if I need anything, I say RC99, and birds fly around, and look, it's remote control. Everything's RC remote control. Squirrels and everything. He's operator of them. RC99. What a great RC operator. Shut your trap. Don't you ever tell me to shut my trap on my own channel. How dare you? How dare you? I'll let you tell me at this time, but next time, how dare you? I tell you, don't tell me. No, woman. Let me tell you something. On this crime channel, you don't call me. I'll call you. Right? And that reverts back to a great song. Don't call us, we'll call you. Right? And another thing, let's get this straight. I wear the pants on this channel, woman. Don't let me have to remind you again. And therefore, I would like a 100-word apology note in my office tomorrow on my table. In 100 words of you apologizing, of telling me to shut my trap on my channel. You're wearing shorts. Woman, I am not wearing shorts. I can tell you this much. If you are that 90-year-old woman that is across the way in an apartment, I'm not going to mention the name, looking at me right now with binoculars, no, I do not find that attractive. So I wish you would quit. And for one, you got problems. How would you know that? I got to do something about the security around her. You know, I'm trying to do things. I just got people coming up and looking in my windows and doors and watching me through binoculars. I don't have any problems, Debbie. I'm on top of the world right now. We're getting closer to solving a couple cold cases. And now you've just become suspect in the main case. That's right, Debbie. That's right. What's wrong, Deborah? Did your ship collapse on itself? I don't know, but we'll talk about it another time. I'll be expecting that 100-word apology note on my desk. No, quit saying you do. You don't have no powers, and you don't know how to. For one, I'm not wearing shorts. What makes you think that? I'm with your power. Huh? Are you using your third eye? I'm not sure, but you people got problems. You're surrounding me. And I can tell you this much. I'll never surrender because I'm one of God's children. And you are jealous because I solved the Delphi case and didn't buy these people's bullcrap. And we went forward and won. Now, we will continue to talk more about Ron Logan and other crimes in this area and around the world. We will continue to do what we do here on this, and that's give all glory to God, King of Kings, and no power to Satan. I seen your third eye. It's scary. You didn't. How you? You are number one. You are number one suspect, Debbie. Trafficking is what Cholo Ramirez said. And I defended you all this time, little lady. How dare you? How dare you? You haven't seen my third eye. And it's scary. I don't know. Probably not. But you are probably one of the psychotic family of 4 that have just totally done sick, disgusting things. I'm not sure, but we'll talk about that on another video. Now, as far as Ron Logan goes, we're going to dip into that. We're going to dip into a lot of stuff around here. And I know it's going to upset a lot of you folks, but oh well, I'm sorry. We're on a mission from God to get the word out, the story out. A different interpretation of it, a different way, different terms of words and meanings. And we're going to conquer these spells and death magic and sex curses and traffickers and all this madness of them. All in time. Now, if it's true what they're saying and Ron Logan had a hand in it, then the only people that you should be upset with is your authorities in Delphi for not releasing that information. No. Or coming to the public and saying, yes, it's true. Ron Logan was suspect and we believe part of it and had a hand in it. And that would only be the right thing to do to ease the people's minds, but they've caused such a dramatic zoo down there. The animals have gone wild and there's nothing left to do but break out the tranquilizer guns. You're going to have to tranquilizer these people. I'm really sorry, but we can't continue to let these animals run wild. Now, you folks have a great day. God bless everyone. We'll be back to discuss even more on the Debbie Fox case. Who is Debbie Fox? You folks have a great day. God bless. I'll be back.